What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome back to another episode of The Road to Glory. First things first, thank you guys for being here. If you could drop a thumbs up on the video, it'd be much appreciated. Secondly, if you want to get any Nepo apparel, link is down below. We've got hoodies, tracksuits, t-shirts, wristbands. Oh, wristbands right here actually, boom. Wristbands, caps, the works. The works. We've got, no, I won't even go there. Anyway, thank you for being here. 9 games of gameplay as promised with this team. I said to you guys I was going to play 10 games with this team no matter what. You're about to see and experience the gameplay that came along with that. How good was Sessegnon? Good. He was good. How good was Braithwaite? Not so good. You would have thought Braithwaite might have been the better of the two just because he had 4-star, 4-star. But I think his high work rates were a problem for him. I've never really played with a striker with high work rates, to my knowledge. I probably have, and you're probably going to be like, but NepentheZ, you use this guide here. Right, so to my knowledge, I don't think I have done. But Sessegnon was very good. I'll tell you what I liked about him first. I liked the fact that he was rapid. I liked the fact that his agility and balance made him feel exceptionally fast. His finishing was very good, and a lovely goal that you see with him there. His positioning was great. And just generally speaking, he was a lot of fun to play with. Now, the downsides of this Sessegnon card, first and foremost, he's just a bit weak. He got bullied off the ball whenever I couldn't outpace a defender. You know, if I was like in a one-on-one run with a defender trying to get around him, more often than not, Sessegnon would have got bullied off the ball and I would have lost possession. Having only a 3-star weak foot did cost me from time to time. It never really cost me a game. It only cost me more goals in a game. So in that sense, it didn't actually cost me any wins out of these 10 games. But at the same time, it was a bit frustrating hitting the post and missing some sitters because of that 3-star weak foot. I think a 4-star weak foot is a minimum requirement for a high-end meta striker this year in FIFA. I think you absolutely need it. The only other thing as well, other than a little bit of lack of strength and the lack of skill moves and weak foot, I think the only other thing was that he couldn't shoot long shots. I think his long shots are quite low anyway. Anything outside of the box, you might as well just pass it or cross it or something if you've got it with Sessegnon, because he just couldn't score from outside the box. I don't think I scored a single goal with him from outside the box, and I gave him enough opportunities to test him out. So what I would say is that if you've got the ability to use him up front, like I've worked, you know, by putting a couple of fullbacks on the right side or anything like that, and just working him into your team, for a player as cheap as he is, he's good, he's fun, but undoubtedly he's not going to be a player that you play 1,000 games with or 500 games with or probably even 100 games with. He's the sort of player that you'd probably play 10, 20 or 30 games with and be like, yeah, that was a lot of fun, now let me try someone else, because he's just not good enough. He lacks, for everything that is good for him, there are other players out there like Lozano or Heung-min Son that offer the same with that pass high agility, specifically talking about Lozano, with that 4-star, 4-star, high agile, high pace. I think there are just players out there that are just marginally better than him for the same sort of price. But with that being said, it was a lot of fun to play with him. First comment we've got is from Moro. Moro says, "Hi Nep, I watched your videos where you did drafts without carrying chemistry." I think he said without caring about chemistry, but kind of got his words muddled. "So I tried it on FIFA 18 and I won the draft, and to be real, I didn't notice any difference between 1 chem player or 10 chem player. So can you also try to see what is going to happen?" Yeah, I mean, the thing with the draft is that what people fail to understand, and I think this is goes a long way to why people think that draft gameplay is different. And it is different, but not because EA have made it different or anything like that. It's different because of the way you build teams with different formations, the incorrect chem styles, incorrect chemistry. Players that you'd never used before, of course, is going to have a different feel. You know what I mean? It's still going to be, it's still the same gameplay in a traditional sense, but yeah, in that sense, it's a little bit different. But in terms of chemistry, what people fail to understand, and I had a lot of problems with this in FIFA 16, funnily enough, towards the back end when I used to play draft a lot in FIFA 16, is that people would go mental at me for picking, let's say, a Ronaldo and playing him on 5 chemistry instead of picking, say, let's take a current left wing, like an Izquierdo of Brighton that would have got 10 chemistry. And people are like, oh my god, why are you going for him? And the thing is that the base card stats are achieved at 5 chemistry. Actually, a little bit less than 5, but because you don't always get 100 chemistry in draft anyway, let's say for argument's sake, base card stats are achieved at about 5 chemistry. So as long as you can start a player on 5 or more chemistry, and it's always really easy to get a player to 7 chemistry in draft, just 1 soft link is usually enough, maybe 2 soft links, then a Ronaldo on 5, 6 or 7 chemistry, even without the boost of a chem style, still has better base card stats than an Izquierdo with a chem style on 10 chemistry. It's just a fact. And so for me personally, that was a really nice goal from Braithwaite, by the way. He didn't do much for me in these 10 games, but that was a nice finish from him. So the bottom line is that if you pick the best players offered to you and can get some chemistry on them, anywhere from 4 to 7 as a bare minimum, of course you won't notice a difference because they're still better than players that you would have been using. And what other people do in draft is that they will go for a 10 chem player. So somebody will go for a 10 chem centre back from the Spanish league with 36 pace instead of going for an Eric Bailly on 4 chemistry because they prioritise chemistry, when what you should really do is prioritise stats. And just generally speaking, the level of players, the level of quality in drafts in terms of player base is far less than the level of quality of players in the high divisions and foot champs. I haven't really struggled in draft for some time. Even the games that I've lost, I've always lost them because I've been stupid. That's not fair. I've lost some because I've deserved to lose them, of course. I've been outplayed and so on and so forth. But recently, especially over the last 10 drafts, I've won about 8 or 9 of my last 10 drafts. The ones that I didn't win were because I was doing themed drafts. But if you pick a squad full of the best players and play them as at least 4 or 5 chemistry and can sometimes get them soft linked up to 7 or 8 chemistry, you're just going to have a really, really good time because those players are going to be better than the trash bag players that a lot of people decide to use and start with for chemistry reasons. So yeah, I mean, I already do that in draft anyway. I always pick usually for the best players ahead of chemistry. Look at that turn from Sessegnon. It's so clean. He's so good. Next comment is from Mario Fregoso. Why don't you use that Lukaku? I will use that Lukaku. I still think, obviously, the man of the match cards didn't come. His price actually went from like 500,000 down to about 450. It's recovered. It's back up at about 490. When Manchester United play on Monday, I believe they play. It will be nice if he gets a start and gets a goal. I feel like I could still make money off that once to watch Lukaku. It was the wrong time to buy it for me because I want to buy Team of the Year players from Monday going forwards. So to spend 490,000 coins on a card that might not get an upgrade immediately might have been a silly error. Might have been a mistake for me. You know, I might have to wait to get my coins back. But if I'm like 300,000 short of buying another Team of the Year player, let's say I've got like 1.2 million left, and Sergio Ramos is the next Team of the Year player I want to buy, and he's 1.5 million, I'll just sell the Lukaku for a loss to get the Team of the Year player in. But generally speaking, now that I've played 10 games with this team that you're seeing here, I am going to change the team up. I wasn't best impressed with Braithwaite. Sessegnon was good, but I would much rather use other players, as fun as he was. Obiang is not very good at all. I thought he might be good. He's got some key stats in some key areas. He's got good work rates. He's nice and tall. He was just a labourer. He felt heavy on the ball. His passing wasn't the best. He was constantly caught out of position. So yeah, I think in that sense, I just feel like I want to change this team. I don't want to go any further with this team. The next comment is from Abby Do, and Abby Do says, am I the only one who won't be happy with the Team of the Year Kane? Because although he might deserve it, I would just much rather and prefer a Neymar, Suarez, or even a Mertens or a Griezmann. Now, what I'll say is this: Suarez, Mertens and Griezmann have next to no chance to get in Team of the Year. The third and final Team of the Year attacker will either be Kane or Neymar. Kane won the community vote. I don't remember the exact numbers and figures, but I know Kane was ahead of Neymar by a bit. But if EA's 40% goes on to Neymar, Neymar will be the third player. What I'll say from a business perspective from EA is that Neymar will sell more packs than Harry Kane will. You know, Neymar, Ronaldo, Messi is a much bigger draw than Neymar, Kane, Messi. Than Ronaldo, Kane, Messi. So although I don't know if Kane deserves it or Neymar deserves it, I think they both did exceptional in their own right. I think Kane just deserves some recognition of being one of the best strikers in the world. You know, he should have a 5-star weak foot. He's fast, he's powerful, he's got great work ethics. His shots, whether they be in the box or outside the box, are fantastic. He stays fully composed. He's a world-class striker, an absolutely world-class striker. But yeah, I think, you know, this is a team of the year, and everyone that was in the nominee section is obviously one of the best players in the world right now. 55 of the best players in the world. Community voted for 11 of them. EA get to put in their vote, which is worth 40% of a vote. Not of one vote, but 40% of the overall votes. So what I think will happen, personally, I don't think Suarez, Mertens or Griezmann are going to get anywhere near it. Definitely just nowhere near it. I don't think they'll get anywhere near it. As I say, Kane won the fan vote, essentially, or the community vote, but not by enough to the point where EA can't veto it and put Neymar in. And I think, not only do I think I would love Neymar more and enjoy Neymar more personally as well, I just think Neymar will sell more packs. And what I think EA have done here with the Team of the Year was said to me on Reddit, and it makes perfect sense, is like EA didn't want the same Team of the Year again. And the reason being is because for players like Iniesta and Toni Kroos, they're not pack sellers. They're just not. And EA are a business. So what do? They need a way to get rid of Iniesta and Kroos and any other anomaly that wouldn't be enjoyed by the community. Say, for example, previously like a PK or something like that. Or even this year, Dani Alves. People don't like the fact that he's weak. They don't like his work rates. You know, Dani Alves might be one that you might not see as well. I think Valencia is going to get that. And they needed to find a clever way of being able to manipulate and change the Team of the Year without just saying, we don't want these players, we want these players instead. So what they did is, they give a community vote that's worth 60%, and they get a vote that's worth 40%, so they can get rid of all of the players that they generally wouldn't want, but they can also veto any troll picks that the community might have picked. Let's say, for example, the community did pick Lukaku. Lukaku definitely doesn't deserve it. Yes, he is one of the best strikers in the world. You know, let's say top 10, or, you know, he's in the top 55 players in the world right now, according to the FIFA Pro World 11. And this EA ballot box. So we've got Romelu Lukaku in there. Now, if all of the people went and put Lukaku in, it's still, even if every single community member put Lukaku in their team, that's him getting 60% of the votes. But that would also then require all of the community to pick the exact same other two forwards, so that a 40% EA vote isn't enough to veto Lukaku. But if everybody picked Lukaku, and then as their second and third attacking picks went through Ronaldo's, Messi's, Kane's and Neymar's, all you'd need is a few votes on, again, Kane or Neymar for EA's 40% to bump them up above Lukaku. So what, like, I think what EA have done is super clever. That they've put a position for the voting where they can veto troll picks, they can get rid of the non-pack sellers, and they can give the illusion that the community has had an involvement in Team of the Year, when realistically, they haven't. It's still EA's decision, and it's still EA's choice. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good Team of the Year, and I'm fully excited for it. Lyle Jefferson says, "Hi Nep, you need to change your custom tactics for defence so you have your team width slightly narrower and your pressing and aggression slightly higher. This will mean your back four will be much tighter to the opposition strikers, making it much easier to cut out those through balls on the counter-attack. Love the series, keep up the good work." Definitely something to consider, dude. I appreciate the tactical observations. The only thing I'll worry about is if I make my team narrower, it will allow those easier balls down the wide channels, which are actually like what you're seeing right on screen now, which in my opinion are more successful than balls through the middle of the team. So I don't know how I'd go about changing that, but yeah, that's I might give it a try. We're going to ignore that one for the time being. Tim Hugh Sloot says, "In a week's time, you've changed from 90 rated Henry to a championship left back at striker. That's interesting." It was just time to change things up. You know, as I told you guys, I'm not necessarily taking Foot Champs too seriously in January. Hopefully I'll go back to it in February intensely, although of course the birth of my son will be coming at the back end of February. So February might be, towards the back end at least, might be another slow session of Foot Champs. And March and April as well, you know, with a newborn, obviously it's going to be important to spend time with my family, spend time with my newborn son, and give my girlfriend the rest that she'll deserve and would have earned for giving birth to another baby. But yeah, January is just a slow month for me. I might take the last 2 weeks of January seriously, depending on how many Team of the Years I can get into the team. You know, if I sold everything bar Ronaldo, I would have around 5 to 6 million coins. I hope that that's enough to buy at least 4 Team of the Year cards, and again, it depends on who they really are. If I don't think I'll buy too many of the attackers. I think if Neymar gets a Team of the Year card, I might buy Neymar Team of the Year. as an attacker. But I really want to get what looks like... I definitely want to get Valencia, Marcelo, Ramos and Modric. So that'll be 4. That already straight away might take up all of my 5 to 6 million coins. I wouldn't mind getting De Gea, although he would be one of the last ones that I'd go for, as with attackers as well. If De Bruyne does get in, I wouldn't mind going for De Bruyne. I don't want Kante, and Ronaldo and Messi will be final picks. So, you know, I don't know how much 6 million is going to be worth for me. If we go based off of icon cards, for example, the best 2 icon centre-backs right now, which are, you know, Maldini is up at like 1.5 million and Ferdinand is up at like 1.3 million. You would expect Sergio Ramos Team of the Year to be somewhere around there, maybe a little bit cheaper because he doesn't offer the links that those icons offer. So, yeah, you know, a Sergio Ramos might only cost like 1 million coins. A Marcelo might only be around 1 million coins. And Antonio Valencia might only be around 1 million coins. So that's, you know, 3 players already, 3 million, maybe up towards 4 million. That'll still leave me with like 1.5 million to 2 million to be able to pick up a Modric, a De Bruyne, and or a Neymar. So we'll have to wait and see what the Team of the Year is, where we go with it, how much they cost, and who we can realistically add into our team. And I'm open to selling Cristiano Ronaldo to bring in even more Team of the Year cards. You know, if selling Ronaldo and selling everything else gives me enough to the point where I can get 6 Team of the Year cards, I'll go and get 6 Team of the Year cards. It would just depends. I don't know how much they're going to be valued at based on icons and the market right now. I've got a good idea. Like, for example, a Luka Modric, who won't be as good as that Ruud Gullit, who's like around 3.5 million and isn't even as good as like maybe some other cards that are already on the game. I think a Luka Modric might be, you know, around the 1.2 to 1.5 million coin mark. I'm hoping even lower. Based on last year's Team of the Year, Modric was quite low. I think he started at about 800,000 coins, if I remember correctly. Footbin is unavailable. Is that a joke? Footbin is unavailable. That is a joke. I can't remember the exact prices of Marcelo. Oh, Footbin's back here. Let's not Marcelo. Let's go to FIFA 17 players. Let's go for version Team of the Year, and let's have a look at Luka Modric. So Luka Modric, for example, started out at let's go to all. Started out like on the day he was released up at 2 million. Immediately dropped to around 1.1 million. By the start of February was already down into the 900Ks, and then he rose back up during regionals because all the pro players were using him, and he went back up to 1.5 million, and then he gradually went back down to about 1 million coins. So, you know, you could get him reasonably at about 1.2 million last year. I think it'll be very similar this year, maybe around 1.2, maybe 1.4, maybe 1.5 million. So Modric will be relatively affordable. When we look at Sergio Ramos and Marcelo as 2 other players, Sergio Ramos last year came in and started at 1.3, dropped to less than 1 million coins, 900,000 by the start of February, and then again went up to 1.5. Very similar pattern actually to Marcelo. So again, I know there's a lot more coins in the game this year, so there's a bit of extra inflation. So I might expect Ramos to come in at 1.2 to 1.4 million after a few days. And then for Marcelo started at 600,000 or less, went down to 500,000, 550 or so, and then up towards 1 million coins again when regionals hit and all the pro players were showing that they were using him. So I think I'll be easily able to afford Marcelo, Modric and Ramos within this 5.5, let's say 5.5 million coins. I think I'll easily be able to afford those and have at least, I'd say it's going to cost me 3 million coins maximum for those 3 players. So I'll have at least 2.5 million coins left. Now, what can I get with that 2.5 million coins? Maybe a Team of the Year Neymar. Maybe I can sell Ronaldo and get Team of the Year Ronaldo with that 2.5 million coins and the 1.7, 1.8 I'll get from the gold Ronaldo. Maybe we go and get a De Bruyne. Maybe we get the Antonio Valencia. We have to wait and see to see what the Team of the Year is and how much they cost and so on and so forth before we can make that assessment. This, though, guys, is going to be the end of the video for now. We ended up 8-2 of the first 10 games. I'm happy with it, man. I'm happy with it. I knew it'd be the same. I knew I'd get the same sort of results as having a meta team with having that team, because the only time the team is really that important is when you click up a gear in the ELO and you start playing against elite tier players. For me personally, that's when my team would have had some importance. I was happy with 8-2. I don't know how many games I'm going to play throughout this weekend. I'm going to try and get up to 18 wins so I auto-qualified and don't have to qualify through the week. If I don't get there, then so be it. But this is going to be the end of the video, guys. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. I'm out. Peace.